Hi, Kirsten.
Hey, Christina.
And hello, everyone. This is one of the recordings that we've decided to make part of our event. We had a conversation now about how to choose a coach training provider. And we thought that was just a conversation with some people, but now let's just put together also a video that we can provide to everyone in case you might have want to go back to it, or you might have missed it, or you still have questions. If there's still questions lingering, you know that you'll find us here at any point you want to join a credentialing clinic or a free info call, do that. We're here to talk about credentialing in general. So, Kirsten, we said that we want to look at this thing again of what would be some ideas. I don't know if tips, but things to consider. I would better call them like that in case you are faced with the question of, well, I would like to start a coach education, but there's so many schools out there. How do I sort through? And just to make it clear, we don't necessarily do it in saying, of course, come to Solutions Academy, but we want to say, irrespective of what your decision is, this would be some components that you should consider no matter what you choose.
Yeah. And of course, we're biased. We love our courses. So, but we're trying to put ourselves into your shoes and trying to think about what to consider and not, it for us, we love training coaching in a way that makes sense. And even if we are in private conversations with people and we know that our courses don't make sense for someone, we do send them to someone else because we are really not in the business of teaching people things that they already know or stealing people's lifetimes. So I hope you can trust us on that one. So I think the first thing that you want to consider is, suppose you have this coach training, what's going to be different? So don't only think about, oh, I need this official thing, but also think about what am I going to do with it? Am I going to be coaching as a manager? Am I going to be coaching in private practice? Am I going to be coaching in a niche? Am I going to be using coaching skills in my daily life? So, and then look at the coach trainings and see how is the fit to what you want to do with it. And is the training broad enough or focused enough for what you want to do?
Now, pick up on that one and say the second thing that I would also consider is this long-term perspective. Like, I know that you can think about what you want to do now, but things will change in the future, and at the same time, the economic context and everything shifts and changes. How is that? Change is constant, right? So if possible, I would strongly encourage you to look into a course that gives you a potential in the future to go for an international accreditation. If it's ICF, it's EMCC, if it's AC, pick one of the big ones so that whenever you decide that you want to go to that step, you can still do that. Doesn't mean that you need to do it today or tomorrow, but maybe you decide you want to have that in a year or something. Pick a course that allows you and keeps that door open for you.
And we have a lot of experience with people who took really great coaching courses that benefited them personally, maybe 10, 15 years ago, but they were not accredited and they didn't map what they were doing to the ICF core competencies. And now it becomes very difficult for them to count their coaching hours toward an ICF ICF credentialing. It's a little bit easier with EMCC because then you don't have to start counting your hours with your first education. But still, either choose an accredited training program or one that is familiar with the accreditations. And also, I think it makes sense to at least choose a training provider who is familiar with the ICF core competencies and is able to map their program to the ICF core competencies and is also able to mentor you to the ICF core competencies. Because if people don't know how you will be evaluated potentially in a performance evaluation, they will not be able to mentor you in that direction. And if you are, let's say you want a very niche program, you want a program on executive coaching for financial leaders, and there isn't an ICF accredited program available, take the specialized program that you want, but also hire an ICF mentor so that you continue developing the skills that you will need in the future.
I would enhance that and say, if you don't find yourself that in a specialized mentor, maybe engage in supervision to the minimum. Take a supervisor that's accredited and take a supervisor that can make this blend between the specialty that you are aiming at and the type of accreditation that you will be interested in. I think that's valuable. And nevertheless, mentoring or supervision is still going to count towards your constant growth. And that's what you need. You cannot just assume that after you've done the course, you're good to go, you're done, you're never going to be ever. No, there's going to be a lot of growth that happens after that. And I think that any program that embeds mentoring or supervision also there's a chance, Kirsten, I'm very careful what I'm saying here. There's a chance that those programs might have considered also their philosophical stance. See, I said there's a chance that they might have considered. I know that you did this study on all of the programs out there. That's why I bring it up.
I just saw that, if I go like this, I have a halo. So,
have a halo.
So we know that coaching and conversational skills in general is something you will not stop learning about, hopefully, until the day you die. And that's why I think this mixture of mentoring and supervision is so important. Find a place where you can grow as a conversation artist, irrespective of all competency standards, where you can grow as who you are in a conversation with others. And also keep in mind that for demonstrating your halo in public or commercially, you need the credentials, so you need to be aware of those. Yeah. So look for real feedback. Look for real feedback, not just exams.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing to consider is, where are you getting this feedback from? So is it, how is the learning environment structured? Are you going to be with whom are you going to be in contact? Is it going to be small groups? Is it going to be large groups? Is it going to be people from all over the world? Is it going to be people exactly in your niche, which may be useful? Or is it, are the courses live and interactive where you can actually practice conversational skills? Or is it pre-recorded material where you're left alone with trying to practice it? And I think also this idea of building a network amongst the people who you are training with. I mean, this has been our experience and our surprise in 2015 when we started giving courses that were entirely online, is how much and how many friendships and relationships developed by our 24-week, 2 days, 2 hours a week courses. We had people who then went on holidays together. It's and if that is, I think, that may be something you like, it may be something you don't like, doesn't matter, but it's something to consider. What is the learning environment? Who are the people you're going to be hanging out with? What is the structure of the program? What is the mixture between live and online? One thing I would caution against is doing like a 1-week intensive course, and then with all of the practice, you're going to be left alone. Ask this question: who is going to support me to learn during the course while I'm practicing?
Yeah, and I think it's also the question around, will I be able to create a support group for myself also further on in terms of community? Because I think coaching, let's face it, is not just, we're not that great at creating partnerships. We are more of a lonely profession. So a lot of us are solopreneurs. Hence, if you need at any point somebody to work and support you in a project, even it's better and it's easier when you have a community where you can go back and say, look, I have this thing, can somebody now jump in and run this project with me? And I think that's the other component of it. It's not only about the growth and the development, and it's also on the professional side and on the business development side, to have a network where you can talk about how do you grow your business, talk about if you need help and things like that. So I think there is twofold.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, for example, we have this WhatsApp group with around, I don't know, 750 people at the moment, this community. And it's so helpful because people are, if they have any kind of question, they pop it in the WhatsApp group and there's going to be a million of answers. And most people have that WhatsApp group on mute because otherwise their cell phones are going to blow up. And the other thing is that we are offering these weekly meetups where you can come with all your credentialing questions, with all of your coaching questions. And our meetups are free for anyone. They're not just free for our coach, our alumni, but do have a look, you know, who are the people you're going to be hanging out with, and just make sure that this is going to be a supportive environment. And I know that a lot of other coaching schools offer similar things. Yeah. And I think the last thing to mention is, and I'm sorry, you know that I'm a philosophy nut, so
said it earlier, you might want to consider.
I think that having a good fit between what you believe and what the coaching school believes, and having there to be enough tension to be productive, but not so much tension that you go to every session and go like, what BS? Yeah. So suppose you are a very science-based person and you sign up for a program that is very spiritual and starts with a meditation session every time. You're going to go nuts. Suppose you are a very spiritual person who loves centering before they start anything, and you enter into a program which starts with, okay, these are the learning objectives for today. 1, 2, 3. Please read this text, analyze this coaching session. Then you're not gonna enjoy that. So think about what kind of coaching philosophy, what kind of teaching philosophy the coaching school has. And I would say the teaching philosophy is maybe even a little bit more important than the coaching philosophy. At Solutions Academy, our teaching philosophy is to move beyond the transactional relationship of our participants as clients and us as suppliers. It's not about a transfer of goods. It's about us partnering with our people to help them become the best coaches that they can. And we know we cannot teach coaching. We know we can provide an environment for you to grow and learn. But that means you have to want to do that. If your idea is, okay, I'm going to be presented with a bunch of facts, I'm going to be learning these bunch of facts, and I'm going to practice it, I'm going to be told this is right and this is wrong, you are not a good fit for us. And we would.
And that's fine. It's not to be said that and all good. It's better that you find it out before, not during the class.
I mean, we would still invite you to try and see if you might not like it, but if you know if you know that you want information and correct, right, wrong, this is how you do it, maybe choose another program. And then the coaching philosophy, I don't know how you can check that, because a lot of coach training schools don't really publish what they are teaching before they are teaching it. I mean, we have a couple of books out, and our blog is full of our philosophy of social constructionism and partnering with clients and flat hierarchies, and really using the conversational space to help people develop. I looked at, I think, 100 of the ICF accredited coach training schools, and I found the majority were not very clear on what kind of coaching they were teaching. For example, Coactive has a book out. If you're going to be deciding, okay, do I want to go to Coactive? Why don't you read the book? Erickson has a couple of books out. So if you want to go, Erickson, read their book first. How does it sit with me? If you want to, if you're considering Solutions Academy, you read our blog, read our publicly available, read our books. Just have a little feel for, does that fit with who I am?
And I honestly remember that a long time ago when I've picked my provider, so to say, I actually called you, Kirsten, and I said, just talk to me for a bit, just to figure out if I would be able to work with you at the end, or work with the organization at the end of the day. And it's not that I did only that with Solutions Academy, but I did also with other providers. And that gave me also a feeling not only of the philosophy, but of the way how you would be handling the interaction. And I think that's important. That would be important to me also. How would you be treating me, like as any new invoice, or as a participant into a relationship, creating a space where we grow and discover something together? So to me, that tells also on there's a space to look at the learning philosophy, look at the coaching philosophy, but also at the interaction between, is it just a transaction or is it more than that?
And you can always come to us to our free meetups or book a free info call, and we will not drag you into our programs if it's not right for you. 100% promise. We're not interested in that. If you want to learn how to coach financial executives, specialized in financial executives, we will try and find a program for you, because we don't have a specialized program. So it's just.
And this is another point, good point. I'm know that we said that we keep it, but let's just open up also a small parenthesis with this one is, what I have appreciated about the solution-focused approach, and that is it allows you to interact with people with different topics and with different backgrounds. So it doesn't require me to be going to a specialized financial executives course and then go to okay, those were the financial execs. Now I'm going to go work with the retail ones. Oh, I need another course. At the end of the day, even if they are retail or if they are financial, solution-focused approach allows you to have those conversations with both of those groups.
But I think that's kind of the case for every coaching foundation. Coactive can be used for any kind of, Erickson can be used. Like all of the big ones the foundational level can be used in many, many different environments. So of course we love solution focus.
I think that links back to what we started with, saying, figuring out why you want to do this. What difference would it make? What would it bring you? What would be different at the end of this? And then based on that, go and start digging into the different programs. Kirsten, try to do a summary now that we are, I would say, pretty much towards the end. So we said...
okay, so start with what you want. Make sure it allows you to get an accreditation or credential. Look for learning and not just prep for exams. Figure out what the groups are going to be like. Look for what is the teaching philosophy. Look if there is a community, and see if the coaching philosophy gels with you.
And don't forget the long-term perspective towards, is there path towards a credential with them,
Yeah.
and also this part of mentoring, supervision, what kind of support system do they offer you for your constant development and also throughout the course? How are you left with learning? I think that was about it.
Yeah. If you have any questions, you know where to find us. We have weekly meetups. Just come, throw all the questions that are remaining, and we'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Thank you very much for creating the summary. And I'm looking forward when we talk also about next things. You would be a new coach. What would you take into account? Cool. Thank you, Kirsten.